Now, Chelsea have lost 5 of their 6 matches in all competitions, and their hopes of Champions League football are looking increasingly slim after that 3-0 defeat to Manchester City on Sunday. As you can see, our chief correspondent, Cavi Solical, joins me now. Cavi, how much pressure is Liam Rosenior under then?
He's under a lot of pressure. I mean, Chelsea managers are always under pressure, especially when they are not winning. And Chelsea are really in a terrible run of form at the moment. I think since the start of February, 2.5 months ago, they've only won 2 Premier League games. And it is really, really important that Chelsea qualify for the Champions League. So Liam Rosenior, he's got to convince his players that he's the right man for the job. He's got to convince Chelsea fans that he's the right man for the job. And he has to convince the people who appointed him to replace Enzo Maresca back in January that he's the right man for the job. Because I can speak for Chelsea fans, when they look at the football that's being produced on the pitch at the moment, they're not convinced that he is the right man.
And I mean, I think it's fair to say it was quite a surprising appointment when they brought in Rosenior. So surely from that perspective of the board, the people that brought him in, they've got to think, we expect a few bumps in the road because of his inexperience. Do they have to give him a bit of leeway?
Absolutely. Look, I think Chelsea's position is that Liam Rosenior is their head coach for the long term. They're going to continue to back him, even if results aren't great at the moment. They have faith in him. I think they're also planning on keeping him even if they don't qualify for the Champions League. But of course, we know football's a results business. We know Chelsea are a big club with demanding fans, fans who are used to success. And they're just scratching their heads at the moment, thinking what is going on at our club? Because what they're watching on the pitch doesn't feel like Chelsea. Where's the fight from the players? Where's the personality? Where's the character of the players? Last summer, they won the Club World Cup. Last season, they qualified for the Champions League. They won a European trophy as well. They were expecting to build on the success of last season. But you have to say, since Enzo Maresca left the club at the beginning of January, pretty much everything has gone backwards.
And you may
Chelsea Football Club have been thrown into further turmoil after Liam Rosenior officially stepped down as head coach, following a dramatic escalation of fan protests outside Stamford Bridge. What began as frustration over poor performances has now turned into full-scale unrest, forcing a major change at the top. The protests reportedly intensified in recent days, with hundreds of supporters gathering outside the stadium, chanting, holding banners, and demanding immediate action from the club's leadership. Fans made their feelings clear. They wanted change, and they wanted it fast. The pressure quickly became impossible to ignore. Rosenior's resignation comes amid a string of disappointing results, including the heavy defeat to Manchester City F.C., which many saw as the breaking point. The team's lack of consistency, defensive vulnerabilities, and questionable tactical decisions had already drawn criticism, but the reaction from supporters pushed the situation over the edge. Sources suggest that internal discussions between Rosenior and club officials took place shortly after the protests escalated. While the manager initially hoped to turn things around, it became clear that the relationship between him and sections of the fan base had broken down beyond repair. Stepping down was seen as the only way to ease tensions and allow the club to move forward. The atmosphere around Chelsea has been tense, with uncertainty affecting both players and staff. Now, with Rosenior gone, the focus shifts to what comes next.
Absolutely.
The club is expected to appoint an interim manager while conducting a thorough search for a long-term replacement capable of restoring stability and confidence.
Even if results
for the players, this is a moment of reflection.
I think they're
a new voice in the dressing room could bring renewed energy, but it will also demand accountability and improved performances on the pitch. Every player will now be under scrutiny as Chelsea look to salvage their season. Fans, meanwhile, will be watching closely. Their voices have been heard, but expectations remain high. They want results, identity, and pride restored to the pitch. Chelsea now stand at a crossroads.
They won the
The
Club
next
World
move
Cup.
will be
Last
crucial
season
in
they
shaping
qualified
the
for
club's
Champions League.
future,
They
and
won a
there is no
European
margin for
trophy
error.
as well.